a suggestion for today. Again, I'm not a medical doctor, but I am a holistic practitioner as well. So when you're playing around with herbs and using them, take note of how your body is feeling. Take note how you're responding to certain herbs, because sometimes they will have a different effect on you. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth, because it also depends on where the herbs are coming from. For instance, let's take catnip tea, because that's one of the ones that we love to work with. It has a lot of magical properties, and it also has a lot of healing properties in it as well. Now, there's actually about 4 or 5 different types of catnip tea that you can actually get. If you get the catnip tea that's actually grown up in the mountains, like somewhere up in the Himalayas or the Malaysia mountains somewhere, it's going to have a different effect on you as opposed to some that are grown in different parts of the world or different parts of the country. So unlike traditional Western medicine, with herbs, you have to take other things into consideration. So it is important, if you're going to begin to explore herbs, and I encourage all of you to do that, especially to this degree, that you actually know not only what the herbs do, but where they come from, and sort of take count of how it's impacting you, because how a particular herb may impact me and how it may impact you can be completely different based upon just our own life experience, the energy that we have, and even really where we're living at that particular time that we're exploring the herb. So I wanted to share that. So that's going to take us to our next point. So now we're going to get into some herb magic. Yeah. All right, so now let's talk about this blend. This is actually a blend that I came up with, and I think it's a really good blend to begin to talk about. This one here is what I call Awakening the Goddess. And it has a lot of things in this particular blend. You're actually going to be mixing about 3 different herbs together, and that's chastity berry, skullcap, and hawthorn. You're going to take those and actually take about a pinch of those. How I work with herbs, and I would suggest that you work with them this way as well too. Start with a minimum amount and then work your way up. Because unlike medicine, or unlike when you're taking or drinking tea, it works a little different with herbs. Because actually these herbs do not have tea in it, which there is actually a plant called and I can't think of the name right now, but we'll come back to that. But when you're dealing with this, you're actually dealing with, it's called Tisane, okay? This is what these herbs are made of. Now, what does that mean? Tashan is how they pronounce it, Tashan. And Tashan is actually what is in these herbs. It does not contain what we know as tea. That's a little different than buying sort of a tea out of the store. Now, the misconception is that herbs don't have some of the other things like caffeine in them, and some of the other things that give you sort of the jitters and the shakes. Some people get that from some of the side effects of some of the teas because it has so much of that in there. There are some herbs, very few of them, but they actually produce a natural form of caffeine themselves. It's a little different than the artificial version of caffeine, and we'll talk about that as well. But these particular herbs here, you don't have to worry about those side effects. Now, this particular blend here is the Awakening of the Goddess blend. And this blend is really a very, very good blend because for us, particularly us as women, and dealing with this particular blend, it has a lot of things in here that's going to help us really, really be at the best state. So I would recommend this blend for all the sisters out there and talk about it. One of the things, let's look at the first one, which is actually called Chastity Berry. And what's interesting about this herb, it really helps to balance out the hormones. and it also stimulates the pituitary gland as well too. And it's also excellent whenever we're dealing with those things of our emotion and sort of kind of going through a roller coaster sort of our emotion, particularly when it is around that time of the month that we know as called as PMS time there. It also helps with regulating your menses cycle as well. Are you guys still with me? I see somebody doing something down there. Regulating our menses cycle as well if you're dealing with any kind of pain. And it also helps to regulate the hormones during the our menses cycle as well too, and hormones also during menopause. Mm-hmm. And if for anyone who may have been using some form of birth control pills and want to take that, you want to take yourself off the birth control pills, but you also want to kind of regulate your body, clear your body out, and have these things here, this is also excellent for that as well too. It also helps to ease and calm your emotion, and it does it in a very, very calm kind of way. And so next we're going to talk about skull cap. That sounds kind of interesting there, skull cap. Skull cap. I'm going to check back and make sure you guys are still with me. I think you are. I see some people kind of moving around, but that's fine. We're going to talk about skull cap. Now, skull cap is one of those herbs that is excellent as well, too. And this is also a tea that really, really just sort of kind of gives you sort of that easiness about it. If you're dealing with any kind of stress, or you're facing anything that is stressing you, or you feel that you could be stressed, this is excellent, because sometimes we don't always know when our bodies are being put into that place of stress. And so this is really, really excellent herb for this as well, too. And it also helps with any type of nervous disorder. It's really, really good. If you have the jitters, nervous, digestive stress, if you're dealing with things of any kind of panic or hysteria, this is excellent for that. It really kind of eases your nerves and also helps you. It's also excellent for detoxing as well from things such as drugs, even prescription tranquilizers, alcohol, all of those different things, any of that. So this is a very, very good blend. Now, one thing about using this particular blend that you want to just keep in mind, it has sort of a bitter taste. Now, in Chinese medicine, it is based upon the principles of sort of the senses, and, some of are bitter, sweet, and all the different ones. Well, this is particularly a bitter. This one is a bitter. So how you're going to take a look at this is, or take the edge off for some of the bitterness, is just you can add some nectar, you can add sort of a little bit of honey and put that in there, and that's going to curb sort of that bitterness, okay? We're going to talk about the hawthorn. I know we talked about that last time, but we're going to talk about it again here because it's in this Awakening the Goddess blend. And when these herbs sort of kind of get themselves and emerge themselves together, it really, really just, it's amazing. It's a great, great feel. I love it. And if any of you decide to try it, I would love to hear what you have to say. Now, the hawthorn is really, really good for heart health. And us as women, we have two hearts. We have the heart in our chest, and we also have the one between our legs. So this is excellent for that as well, too. It helps with the heart health. It also helps with circulation, particularly circulation when it comes to our legs. A lot of us as sisters, we deal with sometimes the heaviness of even fluid within our legs, or we deal with sometimes just the swelling in our legs, whether we get it sometimes during the time of the month or whatever. And for those of you who are dealing with any kind of fibroid problems or any kind of uterus problems, you will notice that what part of the body that gets impacted the most is everything that's going to be below it. And so this really helps to keep that circulation going between your legs. Another reason that this is an excellent herb to work with, it keeps you very alert, and it also helps with memory. It also helps to clear away some of those cobwebs. I think we talked about that as well, and it really just helps to keep you alert. So this is an excellent herb to begin to work with, particularly for sisters, awakening the goddess, a very nice blend. You can add a touch of honey and some of the other things that you want to do. I know some of you don't want to use some of the honeys. Again, I'll recommend if you have any kind of allergies that you deal with, you're sensitive to any kind of sinuses, then I would recommend that you stay with a local tea, because that's going to help to build your immunity to those allergies and things that are right there in your immediate area. But there's some other very good companies that make honey, raw honey, from all over that you can begin to get. Or you may just want to take a hint of mint and put it in there. That may do it for you. Maybe slice a lemon or lime and squeeze that in there. Squeeze a little bit of orange juice, orange in there, maybe a touch of cinnamon, or even a dash of some natural vanilla. You can actually do that as well, too, with these blends. Okay, we're going to go on to the next one. So now we're going to talk about another blend. And if you see here, this is what I call Newt and Geb. Excellent blend here. This is the Sacred Union blend here. And right there you will also see the card out of the Oracle deck that is soon to be coming out. And this is going to be the depiction of what we call the Sacred Union. For those of you who listen to the show, you will remember I told you about the sister, the amazing sister, Pure Feminine, who did the artwork on these Oracle cards. We worked together with it. Well, this is the Sacred Union. This is Newt and Geb. A couple of things when it comes to really getting into that energy of Sacred Union. This is also a tea that can be made for yourself. You can make it for yourself and your mate, and you guys can have this together. Some of the things you're going to see that we just talked about, it has the hawthorn in there, which is going to keep that heart health. And what could be more close to a Sacred Union than heart health? It's going to keep the heart health going. It's also going to keep you to stay alert, and it's also going to help you stay alert, and it's also going to help you with your memory, because when you're in a Sacred Union, you need to have real good memory. You need to remember. You need to remember, if for nothing else, that that's where you're at. So you definitely need to stay on that course. So it's excellent for that. But I want to talk about lavender. And so there's actually going to be two blends here that you can begin to do. And the first one is going to involve lavender. I kind of put that in a position by itself. The reason lavender, when it comes to sort of kind of making a Sacred Union blend, could stay to itself, it's because lavender has a lot of effects. And lavender is really what we call the herb of harmony. And so in a Sacred Union, harmony is definitely necessary to really, really have things where we need to be. You got to be in harmony with each other. Much like the depiction of the picture there, you see the harmony there. So the same way as you see that harmony is the way that this harmony is going to come about as well, too. So harmony is important as well. So as we're talking about this harmony here, what you're going to do is take some lavender. Lavender. We're going to talk about that. I apologize. I kind of lost my thought there, but I'm going to get back. Okay, so I got it. All right. So we're going to take the lavender. Lavender has a very, very unusual, a very kind of beautiful, soothing sort of kind of scent to it, smell to it. So it can be used in so many different ways. As a tea, and making this Sacred Union tea as a lavender tea, it's going to help you with anything. If you have headaches, if you have tension, anxiety, or just really take that edge off And so lavender tea is really one of those good teas that you can have after dinner tea, maybe after you and your mate are sitting down together, and after you've eaten dinner, maybe just make some lavender tea. It's excellent for that. Internally within the body, what lavender does, it helps to fight infectious diseases, fever. It's excellent for that. It also helps to induce sweating, to eliminate the toxins throughout your body. So if you're feeling sort of under the weather, lavender tea also helps with that. It's excellent for the mouth and the throat. So you can actually use lavender tea to gargle. So if you're having a sore throat, anything going on with the larynx, anything with the toothache, you can actually use that as well too. Or you can actually just use it sort of as a mouthwash to really just prevent any type of infection. Another way that you can actually use lavender, and this is really good too, you can actually take lavender and make it sort of as a purifier in the air. In Feng Shui, and in the shows that I did with Feng Shui, I talked about how if you have people who are sensitive to sometimes maybe just burning sage or something, it's just not practical. Maybe you have small children, people sensitive to that, or elders that just can't take that. You can actually make a mist with lavender. You can make a mist. You want to put a little bit of maybe vodka in the mist if you're going to make it. Make it maybe 1 part vodka, 1 part of the lavender. You'll be using more of an essential oil, and put a little bit of water in there and spray it. And this is the way that you can actually purify your sacred space as well. You can also take lavender as a bath as well, too. So you're going to get a big bag, take about 2 tea bags of lavender. You're going to put it in the pot, bring that to a boil. Let it steep for a couple of minutes before you actually do that. When it comes together, what you're going to do is just sort of kind of strain it out and add it to your bath water. This will be an excellent sort of kind of sacred bath that you can begin to take with your mate as well, too. You can do that. I also would encourage you to really charge your herbs as well with your intentions before you begin to put them in your teas, maybe before you begin to mix them and to begin to work with them. So lavender has those different properties. Lavender has the property of love. It is about purification. It's about happiness. It's about peace, and also about longevity as well, too. It is connected with all of those things of love when you begin to think about lavender. You can also take some lavender and just put it in a nice satchel, and you can put it in your where you keep your lingerie. For the sisters, you can put it in your drawer for lingeries, and even for the brothers, you can actually put it inside of the drawers, maybe where he keeps his T-shirts and socks and different things, just to kind of get you guys in that mode. So at the end of the day, you can begin to really, really think about smelling about lavenders. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, so very, very good. So a lot of things that you can do. Oops, sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so next, what we're going to talk about is catnip tea. And I think we talked about this last time, but we'll go back over some of the things of catnip tea so that we can cover that again. Again, there's many different variations of catnip tea. Some of them will get you in the position where you're actually feeling kind of just real smooth and real mellow. And then there's another catnip tea that kind of gets you in the position where you're kind of like giddy and you're kind of laughing. And then it kind of gets you in the position where you're just kind of mellow and just kind of chilled out. So just depending on where the catnip tea comes from, it's going to have a different effect. The higher the altitude, the more of a delayed effect it's going to have. Again, when you're dealing with these natural herbs, one of the things you want to keep in mind is you want to take, rather than taking a big cup and just sipping it all down and drinking it in a large portion, you want to just take it in small quantities and just kind of drink it. So catnip tea, we're talking about it here in the Geb and Newt blend, but you can also use it for other things Acid reflux, excellent for that. So this also makes it a very good tea as well too. It helps with that. PMS, stress overall. It helps you with the really just tap into the astral realm very, very quickly. So it helps you to sort of kind of get into that place so you can get into the astral realm as well too. And also you can use it as a rinse for your hair. So again, if you're using it in the tub or maybe you and your mate are taking a shower together, this would be an excellent blend to begin to bring together. An excellent blend for you to begin to bring together when you're thinking about that, so you can actually have some there. So when we begin to think about this sacred union, you know, Nut and Geb, Nut the sky goddess and Geb over the earth, we think about sort of the wholeness, you know, of really these two coming together, remembering that we are both human and we're also very, very spiritual beings as well, too. So they sort of are symbolic of this, the mothers and fathers of this, of all of us who are entering into this physical three-dimensional sort of reality. And this is sort of the portal that we go to. So if you're having problems in your relationship or you're dealing with things in a relationship, whether that sacred union is with yourself, because we are all Nut and Geb as well too, that this is something where you can begin to bring back that wholeness and really get back into that space of creation together. Nut and Geb will begin to help you with this as well. And this blend here, all of these herbs are really designed to really kind of shift your energy back into that place. And so now we're going to talk about the other one. Sorry about that. I think I kind of got a little big there. I don't know how to, let me kind of make it a little small for you guys. Sorry. Okay, so here we go. All right, so now we're going to talk about oat straw. So oat straw. Everybody doing okay so far? You guys will have to type in the other chat room to let me know you're doing okay. But I assume that we are all doing okay. I'm going to take a look over there in just a moment and see. So we're going to talk about oat straw as well as we work through these particular blends here. Okay, beautiful. Okay, you guys are doing okay. Oh, okay. Trinidad is in the house tonight. Good to see you in the house. And all of our international listeners, good to have you guys in the house. I know Japan is here as well, so good to have you. All right, so here we go. We're going to talk about oat straw and what that is actually. And oat straw is excellent for it's really, really good. It sort of helps to maintain the body. You know, this strengthens your immune system, and it also helps to build your energy as well, too. So this is going to help you to do this. This is a great tea. It has a lot of power in it and a lot of antibody properties as well, too. And it's an antidepressant. Sometimes during this time of the year, we because we're not getting as much sun, and we talked about this in some earlier shows, it can kind of make us fall into that place where we sort of kind of get into some of the darkness. And even though going into the darkness is excellent, but we don't want to get into that place of darkness where it becomes, or where our energy is low and we can feel a little depressed. And so this will help you with that. Oat straw is excellent for that as well, too. It has a lot of vitamin D in it, vitamin A, vitamin E, zinc, and some of these other things. So it's excellent also for your skin. As well, too. So it's good for you inside and out. It's kind of like a body tonic. You can think of it that way. So this is another reason this is inside this particular blend. So, again, you have two blends here that's going to be for Nut and Geb, and that is lavender tea itself. And begin to just use lavender by itself. You can actually mix it in with the blend as well with the other three. But lavender kind of can stand on its own as well, too, and do what it needs to do. The blend is really going to be the catnip tea, the oat straw, and the hawthorn. You're going to mix those together and really just kind of get you a tea ball and boil your water, bring the water to a boil, and then steep the tea ball in it and just let it simmer itself for a while, and then you're going to drink it. Remember, less is better when you're dealing with the herbs. You want to start out with a little bit amount and then begin to move from there. So Newt and Geb. So whether you're in a sacred union or not, because we have sacred unions with ourselves, this is sure to be some herbs here that you can begin to work with. So next, y'all like that? So again, I'll say, since the beginning of time, we've been using herbs and brews and all sorts of magical things to raise our consciousness, to keep our bodies and our minds and our spirits evolving. So that's going to bring us to the next one. And now, this is one of my favorite. We're going to talk about heteroo. We're going to talk about heteroo, this particular blend here. And so in this heteroo blend, this is actually going to be lemon balm, some chamomile, some rose hips, and some milk thistle. Okay? So we're going to talk about these and talk about what they do as well with the goddess heteroo. Now, the goddess heteroo really, really brings a lot of the energy. And, let me not forget, because you get to see here, this is the goddess heteroo. She's in the oracle deck, too. So this is the heteroo. So this is kind of your first time seeing this. You get to see heteroo. Isn't that amazing? So that's heteroo there. She really is symbolic of love and joy and celebration. You know, she is represented as the cow goddess, the nurturing goddess. She deals with magic as well, too. And the goddess heteroo also is about bringing sort of the darkness and the light, you know, really tapping into those higher realms as well, too. So let's go through and take a look at these herbs and this particular blend, and we can see why this is so amazing here. We can see why this is here. Yes, heteroo. So let's take a look at this. So we're going to talk about lemon balm. Now, I know a lot of you deal with herbs as well, too. Let's talk about lemon balm. Lemon balm has a lot to do with sort of, at one time, lemon balm was actually just called the cure-all. It was a cure-all herb, you know, as well, too. It has a lot, if you deal with allergies, it really, really helps to relieve that as well, too. It has a lot to do with respiratory healing as well, too. It's antibacterial, you know, as well, too. So it keeps all of those allergy things at bay. So if you're dealing with allergies or anything, it's excellent. So whenever you get the cold and flu, you know, hot lemon balm tea is going to really help you get those toxins out of your body as well, too. Now, another reason for the lemon balm is because it's the kind of don't worry, be happy tea. That's what lemon balm is. Don't worry, be happy. Be happy. It's an antidepressant, for one thing, and it really helps to soothe your nerves. The good thing is you can actually make sort of an iced lemonade with lemon balm tea as well, too. You know, it really helps to attune to your kidneys, your urinary tract. It helps to clean out the toxins and also renew your strength. And this is so much what the goddess heteroo is about: love, joy, celebration, nurturing, you know, about magic, about light and darkness, you know, bringing those things into play. So that's why the lemon balm is in this blend. So now what we're going to do is take a look at the chamomile. So I see some people are just now joining and they're trying to get themselves caught up. and see exactly where we are. And so hopefully you can. Let me see if I can bring you in. If you're in the chat room and you're just joining us, I'm going to put a link in the chat room so that you can get caught up, because I don't know if the other link is still working, but you can click that link and it should take you exactly where we are. So let's take a look at the chamomile. You guys still with me? Still with me? How we doing? We doing all right? Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm glad you guys are still here. So, okay, we're going to take a look. Yep, a chamomile. I guess we'll do that. Then we'll go to the rose hip. All right, so the chamomile is also considered of what they call one of the 9 sacred herbs, and one of the 9 sacred herbs. And what I like about chamomile is you can almost have chamomile, and no matter what you have going on with you, chamomile is going to have a little bit of something there to sort of kind of help you through that. What, again, at the beginning about is really help your body when you sort of kind of catch a little. So it doesn't sort of cure anything or suppresses anything. It helps your body move through its natural movements. So sometimes when we're dealing with things, whether it's on a physical level or even if it's on a spiritual level, sometimes we may be uncomfortable in the place that we're at. But what we're looking for is really our natural rhythm to move us through. So whether that natural rhythm is to use some herbs or maybe to do some of the rituals that I offer in some of the sessions, the readings that I give, maybe it's knowledge and understanding that you need, or perhaps maybe what you're needing is just a little bit of that tickle. Like I said, the herbs gives you that tickle, so you can move yourself past those blocks and begin to get yourself into that place of where you are. And that's what herbs do. They facilitate that. They help you with the tickle, and they do it in a very gentle way. So chamomile is one of those 9 sacred herbs, and it helps with all kinds of cramps, pains, and aches. So if your body is dealing with any of those cramps, pains, and aches, and I'm not just talking about just menses cramps for women, I'm talking about any kind of arthritic pain, muscle aches, strains, any kind of relief of cramps in the body, it's excellent for that. Chamomile also helps to reduce any kind of inflammation within your bladder. It helps to fight infection as well too, and it does that for any type of burns or any kind of scabs. It's excellent for that. Any kind of vomiting, or if you're nauseated, have any nausea, it's excellent for that. It also helps to relax the tension in your muscles, so your skin is so much softer. You can actually take a bath and take you some chamomile, put it in a sock, and let the water run in the sock, and then keep it in there. It really, really will just help love on your skin as well too. It'll help you really get into the astral realm very quick. It'll take you to the astral realm quick as well too. It'll get you in a very relaxed state. So if you have any kind of bloating, any kind of gas, any kind of spasms, it helps with that as well too. It also helps to regulate. So if you're dealing with things such as diarrhea or constipation, it's good for that. So it's really, really good for that. It's used as a hair rinse, that's as well, and it can add natural highlights to your hair. So chamomile is one of those things that it really, really helps you with all kinds of things. And so definitely keep that in mind. So you have the lemon balm and the chamomile. Now we're going to talk about rose hips. I know you guys have some questions, And we'll get to those in a minute as soon as we finish this. But we're going to go on to rose hip. And rose hip is a good one because rose hip is a spirit lifter. It really helps to lift your spirit, you know. So if you just kind of feel overwhelmed and you're dealing with a whole lot of things, rose hip, otherwise also called wild dog rose. That's another name for it as well, too. But it really, really helps you with that. It's very nurturing as well, too, because it has a lot of different vitamins. It helps, again, with your immunity system and your well-being in your body as well, too. And that's going to be vitamins A, D, B complex, some of your C's, your E's and K's as well, too. Rose hip tea is really, really has a lot of healing powers in it. And the reason this is in this blend for Heteru is because she has a lot of healing powers as well, too. One of the quickest ways to heal is through love and through joy. And just through laughter, just really having that energy to be able to do that as well, too. It also is a great cleanser for your respiratory tract as well, too, helping you to breathe easier. So if you're having problems, you know, really with just making sure you're breathing well, this is a good one, too. It's an energy tonic as well, too. So you can begin to make that. It also helps with your skin as well, too, and it helps with the function of everything. We know the skin is the largest organ on our body. It also helps to clear out mucus and congestion as well, too. It heals your tissues. It really just helps everything. It also helps to heal damaged cells as well, too, and really to help to fight free radicals in the body as well, too. So it lifts your spirit and really just gets you into that place to just give you sort of that oomph that you need as well, too. So you can begin to use that. The other one we're going to come up with, and we know we have Griffin to thank for this, is milk thistle. We talked about milk thistle on Friday night. We'll just go over milk thistle really, really quick and talk about this blend, and we're almost done here. We're almost done. So milk thistle, again, this particular plant, if you've ever seen a milk thistle grows about 10 feet tall. It's a very, very large plant, you know, very large plant. Grows about 10 feet tall as well, too. And milk thistle is excellent because if you suffer from depression, milk thistle really, really, really is excellent for that. Mm-hmm. It also gives you a lot of liver energy. It helps with the liver as well, too. And because it works with the liver, because one of the things is that one of the actually causes of depression has a lot to do with liver deficiencies. So if you have sort of those deficiencies going on with your liver, then you definitely want to make sure, if you think you do, if you're suffering from lots of bouts of depression, you may want to get you some milk thistle and begin to work with that as well, too. So it really helps with headaches. If you deal with headaches or reoccurring headaches or migraines, this really, really helps as well, too. And it's a recovery herb, too. So if you're recovering from anything, chemotherapy, radiation, maybe alcohol, drugs, having problems with your liver, this is also a recovery herb as well, too, a recovery herb. And milk thistle also helps if you deal with those types of abscess on your skin, any of those things. You can actually use it as a tonic as well, too, to wash those things away. So that's going to be really, really, really helpful. So, again, the blend for Heteru is going to be lemon balm, chamomile, rose hip, and milk thistle. Okay, So now that's going to complete the presentation here, but we're not done by a long shot. So I'm going to go back really, really quick so you guys can see the beginning and just see all of the things here. And there we go. So we talked about how we can begin to do this and look at these different remedies, recognizing that our immune system really doesn't have a wall up. So it takes in everything, and then it decides whether or not it's a lover or a hater. So that's important for you to know your magic when you're dealing with these herbs and know what you're doing, you know, really kind of be in tune with your body and how your body is responding to it. So those are the things. As we take a look at these different blends, a great one, like I said, I recommend Awakening the Goddess blend, a pinch of chastity berry, a pinch of skullcap, a pinch of hawthorn, and just adding a taste of honey. The newt and geb, which is the sacred union, lavender, which is going to be excellent for you as well, too. And then you'll have a tea that you can blend the three together, catnip, oat straw, and hawthorn. It's going to be excellent as well. It's so many things that you can do to keep your body, raise your consciousness, and do that. Heteru, all about joy, love, celebration, and also really about bringing the light and dark together as well and creating that magic. Lemon balm, chamomile, rose hips, and milk thistle is going to be excellent for that. So I want to thank you guys for joining the presentation as well, too. And joining us over here, this is going to be one of our little favorite spots here. So we can go over to the remix. I'm going to open up the phone lines right now and in a minute, because I still have one more I want to get to as well that I didn't have a slide for it there to do that. But I also want to talk about another blend that I have as well, too. And this one is called Ogun. This is Ogun. I thought I would do a blend for Ogun. This is a good blend for him. Now, Ogun really represents sort of that mystery, sometimes that place within ourselves that we have to find sort of that portal of truth. For those of you who study the gods and goddess energy, you'll know this to be true about Ogun. A lot of times you will see the representation when it comes to colors, dealing with the particular color of red and white, which sort of represents that balance between aggression and compassion. And so finding our place in the middle between aggression and compassion. And so the herbs that are going to be for the Ogun blend, it's going to be red clover, elderflower, wild strawberry, and white willow. Those are going to be the blends. So let's take a look at these blends here and take a look at the red clover. Some of the questions that you guys are asking in the chat room, they actually may come up in this particular blend. The red clover, what the red clover is excellent for, it's good for coughs and colds. You know, if any type of respiratory infection, it's excellent for. Red clover can also be used as a rinse for your hair. If you have very, very dry hair, it can be used as a rinse as well, too. And any type of eye infections, the red clover is excellent. Someone in the chat room asked about eyes. This is excellent wash for the eyes. It's used to fight pink eye. So you can actually take some red clovers and make a tea out of it. And then when the tea bag cools, you can just take it and almost as if you're making a U from the inside of your eye to the outside, you're just going to kind of squeeze it a little bit and kind of wipe the eye with it. Or you can just rest the tea bag on there. So it's excellent for that as well, too. And any kind of skin problems, if you're dealing with eczema, this is excellent as well, too. You can make a wash with it, and you can use it for that as well. So that's that. Let's talk about elderflower. This was another one that was really, really good, and we talked about this last time, elderflower. Elderflower helps with anything dealing with upper respiratory issues as well. So hay fever, allergies, coughs, colds, flus. It's excellent for sore throat, tonsillitis. It's excellent for that as well, too. Any kind of skin disorders, too. You want to begin to use the elderflower. And then the other one is going to be wild strawberry. Now, we're not talking so much about the woo-woo side of this, but I'm sure, I know you guys do your research. Once you do, you will see that all of these gods and goddesses that have come up, you'll be able to see that a lot of these have those magical properties that is connected with this energy as well, too. So wild strawberry is one of those herbs that they actually call the cool herb. And the wild strawberries, you can do all kinds of stuff, particularly with the leaves. The leaves really just maintain, and it has a lot to do with just your overall health. Everything to do with your overall health. It has a very cooling nature. I know on Friday a brother called in and said he just felt hot all the time. Well, this is one of those herbs that he can begin to use that really is just going to help with cooling. The berries actually can be used as a tonic. You can make a tea of the wild strawberries as well, too. And it's excellent after any kind of illness or if you're dealing after coming out of surgery. It's a great source of iron. It has a lot of vitamins in it, and it also helps to strengthen the blood and also just to strengthen the body, and it also clears the liver of heat. So any type of heat, it helps to clear the liver of heat, and it also makes the tea very, very good if there's someone who is dealing with some form of hepatitis. So it's excellent for hepatitis as well, too. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's that. And let's see, the white willow. The white willow. Let's take a look at the white willow. I don't think that's one that we've actually took a look at. The white willow. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the remix, you guys. It's good to have you guys in here as well. Mm-hmm. It's good to have you guys here. Those of you who are seen and those of you who are not seen, it's good. The white willow is good for inflammation as well, so it will help you with that. So if you're dealing with any kind of swelling or inflammation going on, it's anti-inflammatory, so it's excellent for that as well, too, to help any kind of swelling. It has a good source of vitamin A, C, and zinc. Also, when dealing with herbs, like we talked about, it works a little different. So it's not necessarily that it's something that's going to work overnight, but these are things that you can begin to do to help. For the rest of you, I would encourage you to go back and listen to the other show that we did on Friday. There's a lot of remedies in there as well, too. So you can take a look at that. But just keep in mind a good exercise regimen. It's always good to do that as well, too, to exercise and begin to work out, because that is good. That's excellent to begin to work with. And then also if you take a look at your diet, because that's going to play a role too, and also begin to look at the spiritual side. So I hope you guys enjoyed that presentation as we begin to talk about the herbs and things. I'm going to open up the chat line for just some questions you guys want to share. 646-652-2711 is the number to call. Press 1 when you get on the phone lines if you have a question or something that you want to share. We're going to be chatting and chilling for the rest of the night. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation as well, too. So there you go. All right. Yeah. I know some of you are just now getting here. We covered a lot of this, and so I am gonna suggest that either you call in, we can take a look at some of those things, or you can definitely go back and download on the show, and you can get them as well too, because we're not gonna keep repeating, but we'll go there. So I'm gonna go to the phone line.